Hi again, and welcome back for another episode of The Art of Business English. Now, in today's episode, we're going to be looking at some fantastic language to make yourself sound more persuasive. So at the moment, I'm reading a fantastic book, and I'll put the book in the show notes, okay? Because I encourage you all to buy a copy. Basically, it's a very interesting and helpful book, and it's pretty short and easy to read. So definitely a great book for English language learners. Now, if you need to negotiate and be persuasive in your job, then this episode will definitely be for you. The art of persuasion is indeed a very powerful skill set to have, and luckily, it's not as hard as you think to master. Most people interpret things that are said to them on a subconscious level, and in many cases, they're unaware of the reasons why they say yes or no to certain suggestions. So in today's episode, we're going to be looking at part one of a two-part series on persuasive expressions that can help you to know exactly what to say next time you're trying to sell or promote services. So today, we will be looking at the following. Firstly, 3 simple expressions to make you sound more persuasive. I'll be giving examples of how to use each of them, and then I'll also outline why they are so effective. Okay, so let's not waste time and get straight into it. So the first one, I'm not sure it's for you, but, okay? So the reason why most people have trouble selling to others or getting their ideas accepted is because they are fearful of rejection. Now, this is quite ironic because if you're trying to sell a product or service, then you're more likely to be rejected than accepted. So if this sounds like you, then the following magic words should help you greatly, okay? The best thing is they can be used at practically any time or with anybody. So these magic words are, I'm not sure it's for you, but. Just repeat that. I'm not sure it is for you, but, okay? So this structure is effective because it does a number of things. Basically, instantly it triggers the subconscious brain to think, there is no pressure here, okay? So if you do the opposite, like you push the person and telling them that they must try something, then instantly they become quite defensive. And here, what we're trying to do is we're trying to make them feel comfortable. However, it also does something else, okay? By telling someone that something is not for them, you instantly spark their interest, okay? And they want to know what it is that they may not like. So they become actually quite intrigued. Finally, it also triggers the brain into decision-making mode. People instantly know that a decision has to be made, however, without any pressure. The second part of the sentence is also incredibly important. So the 3-letter word but is usually quite a dangerous word to use when we're promoting products and services. Why is that? Well, because it negates everything that you said before it. What do I mean by that? Well, basically, if you tell someone that the dinner they cooked for you was amazing, but I think it needed more salt, then really the only thing that they're going to hear is the negative part, and they'll probably think that you didn't like the dish because it didn't have enough salt. Okay, so therefore in our scenario, if I say, I'm not sure this is for you, but, your brain instantly thinks, hang on a minute, there could be something here for me. Okay, so let's look at some examples. I'm not sure this is for you, but would you be interested in developing a passive income source that would give you more free time to spend with your family? Next one. I'm not sure this would be for you, but we are thinking of investing in a new venture with projected annual returns of 10%, and currently only a few select people are being accepted. And finally, I'm not sure this would be for you, but we currently have a special deal running for the month of June, and it would be great if you could take advantage of it. Okay, so you can see this is quite soft, all right? Again, the purpose here is to spark the person's interest and get them listening to what you have to say, okay? So they are a bit more open and they're less defensive. So we want our prospects to be open to our ideas and feel that they're actually making the decision freely and not under duress. Okay, so let's look at the next expression. So open-minded. Most people consider themselves to be open-minded. So we want to be modern and forward-thinking, okay? And, we think of ourselves as open-minded because this makes us feel young and cultured. And the best part here is that, the alternative to open-minded is, well, close-minded, okay? And nobody wants to be labeled close-minded. It has, such a negative connotation. It makes you sound old and angry at the world, or worse, racist and a simpleton, okay? So if we want to take advantage of this subconscious need to be considered or viewed as open-minded, then we can use the following expression when introducing a new idea to a stranger or a potential client. So, how open-minded are you about? From here, we would paint a picture of the scenario that we're trying to have adopted. So this helps to increase your chances of having your idea accepted, as everyone wants to be seen as open-minded. So let's take a look at some examples. How open-minded would you be about trying this new product? It has several innovations that set it apart from current models. Next one, would you be open-minded about at least trying my idea for a week? And the next one, how open-minded are you about increasing your monthly salary without doing any extra work? Would you be open-minded to the idea of us meeting for lunch to discuss this further in person? So again, using this technique, it makes it quite difficult for people to straight out reject your idea. People will be more open to taking a look at what you're proposing, and the subconscious mind thinks it is being given a choice, but really you heavily influence people to accept your proposal. Okay, and it's quite not aggressive. It's quite a soft way of doing it. Okay, so let's look at the last expression in today's two-part series. And what do you know? So one of the worst things that can happen during a discussion is trying to convince someone about an idea when they think they know everything. Okay, so this person will often enjoy the feeling of superiority as they try and lecture you about something, okay, giving you little chance to put forward your ideas. So this often happens when someone doesn't even really know what they're talking about, okay? So what happens is that trying to convince them with logical counter arguments can actually make things worse. So the first thing we can do to retake control of a conversation is to try and move a person's position from certainty to doubt, okay? And the worst way to do this is to counter with a challenge and end up, arguing with them. You often hear this on radio interviews, okay? Both people argue their point, and they talk over each other, and basically the interview turns into chaos. So this can also occur when we are trying to convince someone to adopt our ideas. So they think that they know best, when in reality, they are not even willing to listen to what you say. So the best way to overcome this situation, basically, is to question people's knowledge of the topic. And the ideal outcome is that they accept that their views are based on insufficient evidence. However, you must never make the person feel like an idiot, okay? So by saying, what do you know about? You're softly, okay, that's important. You're softly challenging their opinion and making them give you evidence to support their opinion, okay? So let's take a look at some examples of this in action. What do you know about my company, the services we offer, and our products? Okay, so next one. What do you know about everything that has happened since our last meeting? What do you know about how this product really works in real life? Okay, and lastly, what do you know about our company culture and how we deal with our clients? So there are basically like two outcomes from using this. Firstly, the person calms down and reflects on what you've asked them. They can quickly realize that their opinion is unfounded. Or secondly, they tell you exactly the foundation for their argument or opinion, and this will actually give you a chance to contrast your ideas with them and verify if their views are in fact correct. And remember, if you argue with somebody, then everybody loses. You'll probably, most unlikely, highly unlikely that you'll convince the person to adopt your idea, product or service. So it's best to go softly, okay? And let's have a quick look then finally at language implementation. So to finish things up today, I'm just going to give you some tips on how to implement the language. Now remember, you can use these expressions in both English and Spanish. So the theory really is the same. So you just need to translate them into Spanish. But if you feel more comfortable starting in Spanish, you can see how they work, okay? You can try them on your partner, your friends. And when you're ready, you can start by using them in less formal situations in English, okay? I recommend trying them on your English-speaking colleagues, okay? The secret is to start using them frequently so that they sound more and more natural when you use them. And once you've adopted them as part of your vocabulary, they'll be a pretty powerful tool to have in your negotiation toolbox. So that's really all we have time for again today. A quick episode today, but this is a 2-part series, okay? So today I've just given you 3 simple expressions that anyone can use to help them have their ideas adopted by others. And remember, as I said, it's a 2-part series, so make sure you join me all again next week for some more of these more persuasive expressions. And as always, if you have enjoyed this episode, head over to iTunes and give us a rating. This helps us greatly. And you can also share this episode with your friends and family. And if you do have any questions, then don't hesitate to let me know. And I've also put a link to the book on persuasion in the show notes. So check it out. And till next week, take care and bye for now.